Hello, everybody. So nice to be with you. Thanks for showing up as you do every week. I appreciate it very much. Before we dive in today, I want to share with you some exciting things that are coming up. So let me show you here. And we have life coach training that starts on September 1st. It's a 6 month intensive, really transformational program if you'd like to become a professional or more informal holistic life coach. We go very deep. We take 24 students and I work with you intimately, intensively for 6 months and you come out shining. We're excited about that happening. We have one opening, so if you think it's yours, go to holisticcoach.org and you'll find the application there. I've also added a wonderful new webinar series based on my new book that's coming out in October called Friends in High Places. If you're working with psychics, healers, channelers, mediums, and you would like to gain skills to tell the pure from the impure, to make healthy, discreet decisions about what's worth listening to, and most important, how to access your own direct guidance. That begins September 29th. So if you want to play with me for 8 interactive 90-minute webinar series, go to my website and you'll find the information there. And then finally, in December, I'm doing a brand new retreat with my dear friend Karen Drucker, an amazingly talented, off the charts musician. We just have so much fun together. And we're going to take 4 days and go really deep and just really celebrate coming out after the pandemic and just loving life. It'll be based largely on A Course in Miracles. So if you're a course student, you really like that. So go to my website once again, alancohen.com, and that will be December 4th to the 10th. Okay. Well, along the same lines of learning, I imagine that most of you who are here, who are on the holistic path, the healing path, the spiritual path, have studied with a number of teachers. And you may have discovered that some teachers are great and some teachers are not. So I want to talk to you today about how to make the most of learning from any guru, teacher, mentor, and how to avoid pitfalls. And even if you have a pitfall, how to learn from it and gain from it. So there are two kinds of gurus. And the word guru means from the darkness to the light. And some gurus take you from the darkness to the light, and other gurus take you into deeper darkness. However, even the gurus that take you into deeper darkness are very good teachers because you learn from them. So the analogy I like is that there are two kinds of gurus. They both sit by the side of the river and offer you bottles of water from the river. And one guru says, well, here's river water, water representing life or healing or love. And if you want some more, come back and you can buy it from me. I have plenty more bottles to sell you. And that can work for a while. The other kind of guru says, okay, here is the river water. And if you like it, let me take you to the river so you can find your own water in an unlimited supply forever. And you don't need to keep coming back to me to sell you bottles of river water. The second guru is obviously preferable. And I once saw a sign that said, a true teacher makes him or herself progressively more unnecessary. So teachers that want to hold on to you and make you dependent and codependent are not healthy teachers. They may help you for a while, but their own need for your dependence is eclipsing their ability to teach you well and clearly and purely. And the best teachers I have empowered me rather than simply empowering themselves. And of course, there's always empowerment in both directions when you have a teaching or coaching experience. But when you have a good teacher, that teacher will help you spread your own wings and fly on your own. In fact, I many years ago, I heard about this teacher, a female teacher who was supposedly enlightened, and she was supposed to have extraordinary psychic gifts. and a direct connection to the angelic realm and God. And there's a lot of hype around her in my community. And a few teachers I highly respected said, "You must go see this lady. She's really got it." And I went to see her, and I didn't really feel anything. It was like, okay, she has some dramatic things she's saying and doing, but it didn't speak to my heart. However, I was caught up in the hype, and I didn't trust my own guidance. I trusted the guidance of everybody around me, said, go to her, go to her. So I went to her and I attended a few classes, and I figured, well, there's something wrong with me, because if she's enlightened and I don't get her, then the problem must be with me. So I kept pushing myself to go. And actually, I worked my way into her advanced class. And still, there's a lot of drama, a lot of hype, but no substance, as far as I could tell. And there was all kinds of hoo-ha. She would be meeting at secret places, and I get a call 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to meet at this place out in Long Island in the morning. And I would drive 4 hours, and the students would kind of follow her around. She'd go away and come back. It wasn't a very joyful or soul rewarding scene, for me at least. And then she was exposed as a charlatan. She was lying about things, and she taught celibacy. She required her students to be celibate, but meanwhile, she was sleeping with one of her students. And at some point, the shift hit the fan, we might say, and a lot of people headed for the hills, including me. Some people stayed with her, but a lot of people headed for the hills. And in the aftermath, I realized what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful teacher she was, because I was not in the tune with my inner guidance when I went to see her. And I learned that you have to follow your gut. You have to follow your heart, that you can't go with the masses or the hype or the drama or the sensationalism. If a teacher speaks to you here and you get it, and you want to be with that person and you're learning from that person, it's a healthy, organic, uplifting, expansive relationship, then it's good. But if you're going just because the teacher's supposed to be good, or there's so many wrong reasons that people study with teachers, it has to be right for you. And if it's right for you, it's going to work. And if it's not right, it's not going to work. So tell the truth and beat the rush later. Now, by contrast, I had another teacher, and this person was a medium, a psychic medium, and she was a spiritual coach, really, a mentor. She would channel angels and invisible entities. And when I was with her, I felt such peace and such clarity and such wholeness and such empowerment. And there was no hype, there's no drama. If you wanted to come see her, great. If not, that was fine too. And the one thing I noticed that I remember after all these years was that when I walked out of her room, I would feel that everything she told me, I knew already. And it was confirmation that my deep inner guidance had been speaking to me. And she was just affirming and confirming what I already knew. She was not, she told me some new stuff that was fun and interesting. But for the most part, my lesson was to follow my guidance and to listen to the inner voice. And so she encouraged me to be independent rather than dependent. And I've heard stories about somebody who was in primal scream therapy. I don't know if you remember that, but there was this therapy where you'd go in a box and scream. I guess it was helpful to some people, and it worked for a while. And I knew somebody who'd been in primal scream therapy for 7 years, screaming her guts out. And finally, she felt like she was whole, and she had purged what she needed to purge. And she went to her teacher and she said, "Well, I'm ready to leave now because I think I've really gotten maximum benefit out of our coaching relationship." And the teacher said, "Oh no, you're just getting started." And I thought, wow, how you have to primal scream for a lifetime? Is that what it's about? And so, you know, I also know of some therapists that play tricks on people, and they try to keep them coming back to their seminar series or their webinar series or their therapy sessions. And when the person tries to leave, they shame them or guilt them into not leaving. And the therapist has a need to have that person be dependent on him or her, whether it's the money or the attention or the fame or the power. I know what it is. It could be a lot of things. But the idea is that the best teachers want you to leave eventually in the right time. If you need longer therapy, that's fine. But I do not encourage students to keep coming back. I mean, welcome you back if you want to come back because you want to come back. That's exciting. And I do have some students that have been with me for many years, but not because I inculcate dependence. They like coming back, and if they want to come back, great. If they don't want to come back, that's fine. We have a nice community of people that share my programs, and people enjoy that. But everyone is more encouraged to fly on your own. When I hear about a student who's starting his or her own webinars or their own blog or their own coaching practice, I applaud them. I say, you go. I mean, this is exciting to me. I don't want people coming back because they need me. I want people coming back because they enjoy being with me and it's fun. And even more than anything, I enjoy them standing on their own 2 feet as an independent soul. I do not want students. I want masters. This is a master class that I teach. All of my courses are master classes because I celebrate your own mastery. You don't need me as a master. You need yourself as a master. And the God within you is the real master. You have a direct connection to Holy Spirit, to higher power, to God, to Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Allah, whoever you like. You have a direct connect. Your connection with God is not a three-way relationship. It's not between you and somebody else and God. It's between you and God. Now, you can go through somebody else if that helps for a while, but eventually you want to shore up the direct connection so you're getting your information and guidance and information directly from God instead of needing a particular person to be there for you and tell you what to do. So, we're all into graduation in my world. We're all into standing independently and living from your heart. We're into authenticity, and authenticity means that all the guidance you need is available to you right now. And you're living from your own guidance, not my guidance, not anybody else's guidance. If you come to my coach training, we train you to get clients to find their own guidance. My coaches do not tell people what to do. That's rule number one. You're not supposed to tell people what to do, but you are supposed to encourage people to tap in and make a relationship with their inner sage. I love that expression. We want you to find your inner sage. Now, if you do have an impure teacher or somebody that wasn't perfect, hey, learn from them. Take the best and leave the rest. Even impure teachers are teaching some truth. So, I don't know any teacher is totally perfect. I mean, every teacher has a humanness and their flaws and they stumble here and there. But some teachers have a lot of great stuff to teach, so don't write them off because they make a mistake or do something silly or have a personality or ego issue. If it's a major ego issue, that's one thing. But if you have pretty good learning from somebody and they have personality stuff come up, so what? So take the best and leave the rest and let your true teacher be the great God Almighty. Even Jesus said this. When Peter, he said, do not call me rabbi. Rabbi means teacher, great teacher. He says, don't call me teacher. He says, you have only one teacher, your Father in heaven. That was the language he used in that time. And so even Jesus shunned people leaning on him. Now, people made up a whole religion to lean on him. That's another story. That's the subject of another lecture. But he wanted people to fly on their own. He said, even greater things than I shall you do. He was saying, you are equal to me in holiness. So I do not have a corner on the market of holiness. People make up stories they do. Oh, I'm nothing and Jesus is everything. Well, Jesus would not like that if you were his disciple, because he wants you to know that he's everything and you are everything. That the same God that spoke and taught and healed through Jesus Christ or any great spiritual master will be happy and glorified and ecstatic to speak and teach and heal through you. So we can learn from all teachers. If you have a pure teacher, carry on, milk it for all you can get. If you have an impure teacher, take the best and leave the rest. And if you decide to leave an impure teacher because you find out they're not for you anymore, they never were, so celebrate that experience. I have never given my power away to a teacher again like I did to that one woman who fooled me. I fooled myself. She could try to fool me, but I had to be foolable. And people who get into cults or relationships with less than great teachers, there's something in them that is looking for salvation in another person, and that will never happen. That's not the way the game works. But then if you have a teacher like that and you take your power back, you're so much more empowered than if you hadn't had that experience at all. So we can celebrate all teachers, the best and the worst. And of course, the best and only real teacher is the God that within you, that speaks to you, that loves you just as you are, and says, hey, you go. Have a great day.